I wonder really what makes people make the decision to visit a medical museum. Curators now often put the idea of visitor research to education and learning staff, but it's really good for curators to get down and talk to the visitors as they come in. Also found that visitors coming to a medical museum did not expect to see any contemporary medicine handled. They came there to see the history of medicine. At the Thackeray Museum there's a fantastic 1842 street where the visitor goes through the smells and the disgusting areas of Leeds in the 19th century, and that really does sit in the brain much more than some of the more diverse material that is shown on the contemporary side. Do we actually care about the casual visitor to our museums? How do we reach the non-medical audience? Exhibitions in other venues, deep partnerships, controversial displays. Why should we just say the success stories in medicine? Why can't we talk some of the controversial?
So I'm keen today really to discuss the potential for co-curation in terms of displaying contemporary science. And I'm going to use a pilot scheme from the Science Museum where we worked with a group of teenagers to curate their own display as part of a larger gallery. We would normally go about curating this type of display by looking at the current science and what's going on, what sorts of research are scientists pursuing. But actually what this group chose to do was pick a series of questions that they wanted answered, and then to go out into the scientific community and try to actively seek the answers to those questions or seek methods for telling stories that might help answer those questions. And I think the most interesting aspects are that they really applied their own personal knowledge and experiences. The questions that they asked scientists were to do with how they lived their lives. You know, what would happen if I drank 25 cans of Red Bull? What does it mean if I can't sleep before my exams? The kind of questions that were really pertinent to them and that we hope will be pertinent to other visitors. So I think the idea that people like them are asking questions of scientists is quite democratic, it's quite empowering, I think, to visitors. What's the potential for working in this way? What can be gained or lost by co-curating with your audience or with a new audience? And how much control would people be willing to share with their audience in that way?
Looking at an object can induce quite strong feelings of fear, pain, kind of intimations, your own mortality, stuff like that. And I think something quite interesting to see whether that comes across medical and non-medical visitors is whether you get the same feelings from a kind of discomfort, all those.
Never ever has there been a session in the History of Medicine, History of Science conference about what are the readers' responses to what we are writing. Nobody ever cared. So now we are talking about the importance of bringing these two professions closer to each other. Historians of medicine and medical curators really work together. And here's a clash of cultures, I think, because here visitors means everything and the reviewers means nothing.
Are you saying these aren't really by our curators, these are by teenagers? How are you presenting them? Is there some sort of, do they feel that they're part of what the institution is?
But I was wondering when it comes to collaboration between the museum curator with the scientists, there might be, when it comes to controversy, and there might be different opinions, and the scientists, to be honest, they might try to supervise it.
Mm-hmm.
But being willing to attach, to be explicit about the existence of more than one point of view, patient perspectives, for heaven's sake. On the web, again, is another context where I think debate in some ways is far ahead of us. You know, people can cope, it seems, quite comfortably with blogs and with other kinds of web sources where it's very obvious that you have many different voices, often conflicting voices.
We also need to have the courage to look at what we are doing and to say, are we satisfying ourselves or are we satisfying the people that actually come into the museum?
There's a political interest in promoting co-curating and sort of multiplicity as sort of a political tool, rather than one which has to do with quality of the content.
As you were speaking.
And I think there's a danger in getting too infatuated with the idea of co-curating, of losing the sense of which you can't do it without holding on to a sense of expertise. And that actually, you know, the most important part of the evaluation raised earlier in the question is what do audiences make of it? So I think if it's just the point that somebody like me has done this, that's fine once to do it. But after that, who gives a monkey's what somebody who's never thought about this subject before has to say about it?